Thanks for joining us for another episode of the VC4A Founder Series. This is a podcast where startup founders share their stories of resilience and answer questions about the challenges and opportunities encountered during their entrepreneurship journey. This series is a collection of conversations with founders highlighting the ingenuity required to thrive in uncertain markets, make it through high-friction situations, and pass crises. Each episode highlights a different founder and the unique set of challenges they are facing. My name is David Coleman. I am the growth lead at VC4A, and I will be your host.
Hello, I'm Dr. Rasha Rady. I'm the co-founder and COO of Chefaa. Chefaa is a GPS-enabled platform to help patients order, schedule, refill their recurring prescriptions, as well as manage all their pharmacy needs. Chefaa is currently based in Egypt. We do have expansion plans beyond Egypt, but for now, we are operating all over Egypt. We have been operational since April 2018. What we do is that we basically offer two mobile apps connecting patient and pharmacy. In three simple steps, the patient upload the prescription, choose method of payment, and submit the prescription. It will be directed to the nearest pharmacy as per the GPS location. The pharmacist on the other side can receives a notification of the prescription, validate it, prepare it, and deliver hassle-free. In the occasion that the pharmacist doesn't have what the patient needs for whatever reason, the prescription is automatically forwarded to the next pharmacy and so on until the pharmacy accepts, prepare, and deliver hassle-free. That helps chronic patients to schedule ahead to bypass any shortage in the market. Thank you.
Okay, very clear. Okay, so we always start by looking back a bit because I'm always very interested in the journey that led up to any idea, any organization. I always believe that there's a backstory that helps, that drives people. There's a that journey, certain jobs, certain people that you meet. So tell us about what led up to Chefaa.
Well, in 2017, my co-founder was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So after surgery and during receiving her radioiodine dose, she was isolated. She only had her mobile phone and laptop. So she gave me a call and said, I can literally order anything I need online except for the medicine I'm going to need for the rest of my life. And she had this idea. So I told her, well, as a pediatrician, and I know a lot of chronic patients who do have similar problems, and we started doing some market research. Uh, Surprisingly, she's not alone in this. And in Egypt, we have more than 2 million prescriptions dispensed monthly on chronic basis. They suffer for, well, we can say it's suffering a little bit because it's very difficult to maintain a sustained access to their recurring medications. And that's how Shifat was born. That's when we decided that we need to start working on this product. Then we went for our friends who do have some technical background to ask for the feasibility of such solution. And the surprise was it is feasible. It is been done in Europe and the United States, so it's not really an invention. People are doing it just differently. So we decided to do it in a way that fits our market and our user behavior. And that's how Shifat was born.
That's a very interesting point that you ended with, which was how you had to reconfigure what you'd learned and what you'd found out about for this particular market, for your particular market. What were
Yes.
some of those considerations? What were some of those challenges or things that you had to change?
Well, for starters, the most tech savvy individual will be the one who's used to using Facebook or any of the social media platforms. This is how they consider themselves tech savvy. And the surprise was, if you're that tech savvy, you can use a mobile app, and they are, no. So we started to educate and do more focus groups to see how many individuals can actually accept the idea of using a mobile app. We started this by asking how many of you are already using WhatsApp to reach out to your pharmacist to order your medication. And there were a lot. They will reach out to their pharmacist phone number and they will send the prescription over WhatsApp. So the idea wasn't completely new to them. The method or how they are doing it was the different one. So when we told them that you can do the same thing, you can upload a picture of your prescription, but instead of being directed to one particular pharmacist, it will be directed to the nearest pharmacist. And if it's not available, you will not need to reorder. You will not to go door to door and look for it. It will be automatically forwarded to the next pharmacy and so on. They accepted this idea and they wanted to try it. However, in our earliest versions, we were targeting the elderly and chronic patients. So we wanted it to be very easy, an easy user journey that's even easier than Uber. Because up till now, we have some individuals who cannot use Uber. And the age group that do not use Uber so far are 65 and above. They do not use Uber. They do not how to use their application at all. So that's why we wanted to make it a three-step journey, so it would be easy for them to do it themselves. Then we went on the journey how to direct our campaigns or marketing to this customer group. And the other surprise that we were faced with is that this customer group is not really on Facebook. They are not really familiar with it. So we changed our targeting campaigns to their caregivers, their children, their grandchildren, and they would introduce the app to them. They would introduce it to them because it's easy to use. And then the target customer, our target customer would, oh yeah, it's easy. This is easy. Surprisingly, some of the feedback that we got is that the grandchildren said, after using Chefaa, now they can use Uber. So that was good because now that means they trust themselves that they can use an app, they can learn how to use an app, and they can now learn more apps. So that was good. That was good. It was a journey of how to reach the best and the easier user journey for our customer segment, knowing who to target, who to speak to. And every now, we do that regularly. We receive feedback and we do some changes to fit the needs of our customers. And very soon we'll be launching another service for the caregivers to be able to monitor his father's or grandfather's medication.
Wow, I love that. I love the dedication to figuring out how who needs it and who they can and then when you figured out how they have there's maybe an inherent inability to fully use your app. You actually figured out who is the best person to actually deliver that to get them engaged and to
Yes.
educate them on kind of on your behalf, so it's a warm introduction, quote unquote, to your product. That's genius, and I love that. The other thing you mentioned, so the prescriptions gets uploaded, right? They get shared. Now you mentioned it, but it's actually a big deal because verification. We're talking about medicine, and it can be dangerous, and there's all kinds of legal issues around it because you don't want the wrong people to get, or you don't want people to lie about the medicine that they need. So it's the verification of that information and the verification of the user who's asking for this medication. That's a whole thing. How can you briefly explain like what the intricacies of that is and how you dealt with that?
Well, the prescription that's uploaded, it has to have certain criteria for the pharmacist to say it's a valid prescription, like the doctor's name, the doctor's address, the patient name, the age, the diagnosis, what he's receiving. The account that's ordering this should be consistent with such things. It will be linked to an email, and this email will have all the data of this patient. At this point, the pharmacy is responsible ethically and legally to make sure that they are doing this for the right person. Chefaa as the technological solution that connects the patient and the pharmacy, gives the pharmacy the data they need, which is basically what the patient offers to the pharmacy, and the pharmacy is the one legally responsible to validate this. Pharmacy is free to cancel. They do not, if they think there's something suspicious, they can cancel it and state why they are canceling it. The patient is notified. At that moment, the patient might have to go himself to the pharmacy to do any verification process that the pharmacy needs. However, what we're trying to do is that we give them an easier way to do this instead of going door to door doing this.
Okay, so that's clear. Now I want to just take a few steps back and talk about your MVP. This is a complex thing that you built, but you had to start somewhere, right? You had to have a very simple initial model to test the idea, because building all of this out would be insane. What were those first few iterations? What did you do first to kind of find out who, where, how, what platform, what information? What was that first MVP like?
The first one was only three icons: a prescription to upload, a search
So
engine,
it was an app.
an app. The first app was
Okay.
app with three icons, and only three icons. The prescription to upload, search. If you're looking for a medicine, you just type it in, and access to a store, a simple e-commerce for OTCs or non-pharmaceuticals. Very simple. And we literally stood outside the pharmacy, offering people who are entering the pharmacy the app. Before entering the pharmacy, try ordering through this.
Yeah.
And they found their way across the app. It was very easy. And actually, it gave them ideas of what they would want to buy when they go into the pharmacy. And then when they receive the response from the pharmacy before entering the pharmacy, okay, I can do this from my couch. Now, we stood this for an hour or two in more than one spot. Like it was like, I think it was 5 spots all over Cairo. And we tried this and we got the feedback. Would you do it from your couch? And the feedback was positive. Yes, if it's that simple, why not do it from my couch? Why I have to go to the pharmacy myself and do it? After all, the link to the pharmacy is open both ways, and all verifications can be done online. So that was easy. Then, after getting the feedback, we learned that searching for medicine through a search engine is not really 100% suitable for them. They would simply type in what they want, and it will go to the nearest pharmacy, and then it will loop across pharmacies until a pharmacy responds, and that's it. They do not want an extra icon of search engine. Another thing that we got from them, they want an e-commerce, they want the marketplace or the add to cart thing to be separated, the OTC in a place and the non-pharmaceuticals in a place, in another icon. They want it to be clear to them what they are looking for. They don't want to have a huge pool of things to choose from. This confused them. They want more categories. They want everything to be categorized so that it will be easier for them to go look for what they are looking for. They wanted it. If I'm going to a pharmacy, I would look at the sign and I would see if I want something for baby products, I will go this way. That's easier for them. They want the same thing only in an app, and that's how we've been working on. And now recently with the caregiver option that we are offering, now after having a simulation of how a pharmacy would look like in the app, we want more services that are not really in a pharmacy, that fits their needs at home. So it's as if the pharmacist came to their home helping them. So that's how we've been moving along. I think we now have passed more than 20 releases for the app.
Wow. And I really, one of the things one of the signs for me always that companies are really focused around their customers is everything you just said. You spoke from the customer's perspective and not from your idea of what it should be. They wanted this, and this is how they wanted information to be delivered. So yeah, I like it when I think it's a credit to the company when they're always thinking from the customer's perspective and really finding out from the customer what they're actually looking for, as opposed to just putting stuff out and kind of forcing them into a corner. So I also wanted to then talk. Okay, so you built your app, and there's a couple of questions there, but then the bigger one in my mind is what was your turning point? What was your main turning point? Maybe it wasn't that early on. What were some of the insights where you realized, wow, if we do this, they will significantly grow our market, or it delivers such a difference in value for the customer that it changes the game for us. It builds the relationship. I'm just giving some examples. What were some of the milestones?
Well, there was one customer who said, I don't want a pharmacy in my pocket. I want it to be more than this. So we asked, what is more than this? He said, I want someone to literally remind me to take my medication, to educate me about my medication, to help me take care of my grandfather or father take his medication. A pharmacist will not do that. So this is why now in Chefaa app there is a dosage reminder. This is why there is a blog, an Arabic speaking blog to educate the public about the sound use of medication. And as of January 2021, we have passed the mark of 2 million active users across all our platforms using all the cloud services. These cloud services are free. They can be used across the MENA region. You don't have to pay for it. So it's not just about ordering, scheduling, or refilling your prescriptions. He said, I want a pharmacist to be ready to respond to my questions if I have one. And we have a 24/7 support managed by a licensed pharmacist answering all the pharmaceutical consultations. Actually, throughout 2020, we have responded to more than 1.9 million consultations across the MENA region from 22 Arabic-speaking countries. It's not just Egypt. We are talking Egypt, KSA, UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, and others. So it's not just having a pharmacy in my pocket where I can get my medication, my OTC, my non-pharmaceuticals, and it's not just a pharmacist who would respond to my questions. Literally, they want someone to give them their medication themselves, to put the medicine in their mouth if it can do that. They want someone to take care of them and help them take care of their loved ones. They want to speak. They talk a lot. They ask a lot, and they want someone to be patient with them, answering all their questions. They cannot do that all the time if they go to a pharmacy. So it is not simply a pharmacy in their pocket. That was literally his words. That's why when we decided we need more services, even if it's going to be for free, that will be available for all patients across the region. That will help us to learn more about the user behavior from different countries, from the user needs from different countries, and it will increase our customer base, user base, and it will help us configure more services that we would have never thought of if it weren't for the words.
Wow. Okay. So that's a clear explanation. But now I wanted to also turn internally. Now, as an organization, you're building quite a complex. You're building the app itself, the core of what drives it, and you're also building a lot of external like information that maybe you don't all generate all yourself. How did you tell us about the partnerships that you maybe had to create in order to do that, to be able to deliver all of these services? Because I'm assuming maybe it doesn't all happen in-house.
Okay, so if you're talking about the technology, all our technology is in-house actually. But for the business to go on, the partnerships, we partner with pharmacists. So far, we have partnered with more than 800 pharmacy all over Egypt. We have partnered with beauty and wellness product brands, uh, more than 40, offering the customers and the end users authentic products. We are now in the process of partnering with pharmaceutical companies as well, and in our coming plan to partner up with medical insurance companies in order to help patients receive their ultimate service through whatever the service they need that evolves around their medication. So these are partnerships that we are building and growing throughout the year.
Can you also tell us? I don't know if it's been if it's clear to our listeners. Tell us a little bit about your business model. How do you earn money? Where does your revenue come from?
Okay, so we do not charge patients on real-time orders. We charge the pharmacy a commission fee. We also have a subscription model for patient in case of upgraded services for the pharmacies, for the pharmaceutical companies, and very soon we'll activate the medical insurance company subscriptions, and of course for the beauty and wellness product companies. So basically, we can partner in throughout 2021. We will have partnered with all the stakeholders in this industry.
Okay, that's a lot of that's a lot of work. Well
Yeah.
done. It rolls off the tongue easily when it's all done, but I can't imagine. I wanted to say I can imagine, but no, I can't imagine how it was actually done. But okay, let's talk about last year. Last year was a very challenging year for a lot of companies. Um, how did COVID and all the repercussions that come along with it? How did that affect Chefaa?
Well, as you know, since we are, working on making sure our patients receive their medication, naturally, amid the COVID-19 with the lockdowns, patients, especially chronic patients, were afraid to go to the pharmacy themselves. So we had more than 300% increase in the number of patients trying to secure their recurrent prescription through Shifa. Also, the beauty awareness product companies, because of the offline going south, they had to go online. So that means more brands partnering up with Shifa in order to secure online presence. Throughout the peak of the first wave here in Egypt, there was a lockdown. It was a partial lockdown till 8 p.m. Starting, sorry, 8 p.m. After that, no one would go down to the streets. So if you want to get something from the pharmacy, you order it from the app. That helped to increase the traction by almost more than 290%. Uh, Throughout the year 2020, the online shopping in general in Egypt increased more than 940%. And that resulted into more people understand and get aware that they can get what they need online. Because this understanding wasn't there before COVID here in Egypt. Uh, so even the fact that more people are now pro paying online. Before COVID, only 4% of the population prefer online payment. The rest prefer cash on delivery. So the year 2020, it had so many changes, not only on the economic level or the social level or the political level or even the health level, but also the understanding and the awareness of people accepting new things to them, online shopping, online payment, new services online, to live, literally get everything you need online. That was new to the majority of people. And they now are learning that they can pick the service that's best for them online and get the best of it. So that was good for us. I'm trying to say, I'm trying not to sound mean, but it was good for us. I'm trying so hard.
No, no. The thing is, if you were in a position to have benefited from an upturn, that's it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's
Well,
just
I'm trying to
the
sound mean.
situation. Yeah, yeah. It was a difficult year for a lot of people, and of course we feel for everybody who's felt
Yes,
loss, and
yes.
you yourself have contracted some COVID yourself and had to deal
Yes,
with your
and
own
we have lost some
challenges.
of our chronic patients getting their prescription actually. So yes, we have seen the bad side and the good side, but you have to admit that even this COVID thing, although it's very bad, but it does have some good sides. People learning new things, accepting new things. That was good. I think it will help us to proceed and continue living.
Yeah. How did this sudden upturn in users and prescriptions and all of that, did it change? Did you have to change anything about your business, or did you have to offer new and more services, or did you rather go back to your core and make sure that that was just doing what's what it says on the can, as they say?
Well, it had me to increase the hiring because of that we now had to work 3 shifts. Before the COVID, we only worked 2 shifts. Now we had to work 3 shifts 24/7 because any patient can need an emergency after 12 a.m. and it will be difficult for them to go because of the lockdown. So we had to work 3 shifts. We needed to enhance our product faster. So we did some hiring for the technical. With more brands coming in for the online presence, we had to increase in the hiring on our operations. For the product itself, more business opportunities came up because of what happens with the COVID. So to close deals, build some technical products that fits these partnerships. Uh, uh, because we had to add a third technological solution for the pharmacies. See, what we do is that we try to digitize the pharma industry as fast as we can, but because we understand how primitive it was, we offer 2 technological solutions for the pharmacists that sounds a little bit familiar to them. It will be easier for them to adapt to this. With the COVID, we needed to help more pharmacies as fast as we can. So we had to build a third technological solution to help on different size of pharmacies across Egypt. So now that's even more hiring with the technical to make sure that we do this fast as possible. It was mainly hiring with the COVID to cope up with the changes that has been happening around.
Okay, so oh, we've got more questions, but we're running out of time. Um, I'd like to know what's your two things. I'd like to know what is your what do you now that you've built this, you know so much about your industry, about the potential. You've gotten clearly a lot of feedback. What do you think is an unfair advantage? What makes Shifa special in the market? Clearly, you were early to develop this solution. But what makes Shifa stand out, and where will you take it in the future?
Okay, so Shafaa is patient-centric. All our services, technology, everything is designed around the patient. So with the new services coming up, all designed around chronic patient, everyone knows that when it comes to Shafaa, you're gonna get the best user experience, the best service, and even when we upgrade, it is for the best benefit of the patient, make it easier for the chronic patient. If you're asking about the future, now that we are accepted in the Google Accelerator for Startups in MENA, we are working on our technology, our machine learning patterns, in order to launch new services that will help chronic patients in ways that were not done before. and I cannot announce more than that.
That's okay. I totally understand. Okay,
But,
so our last question, which we ask every founder, everybody we interview, is what would your advice be for you are far down the line for some of our listeners in terms of building a company that has proven to be resilient, um, in a market that is not easy. So what is and the African market is a very unique market. The Egyptian market specifically is very unique within the unique African market. So it's always interesting for me to ask what would your advice be for early stage founders who are maybe have just started, maybe have a little bit of traction? What are some of the things that they should be really thinking about and focusing their energy and attention on?
I believe that there's one advice that I believe in, which is make sure that you fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. Because whether you like it or not, you will face sometimes that you need to change how you approach this problem. That doesn't mean that you're failing. You need to have this flexibility and resilience in order to solve the problem that you have fallen in love with. If you have fallen in love with the solution, make sure that you will fail because it will make you rigid. You will not be flexible enough. And if it's not working, you will think that you have failed. While the real reason is that the way you're approaching is not working. So this is how you need to think about it. Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution.
Thanks for joining us today. If you're a startup founder looking for practical tips, check out the Startup Academy or connect directly with industry-leading experts through the mentorship marketplace. Be sure to keep an eye out for new programs and opportunities we make available as VC4A, or boost your capital raising efforts by registering a fundraising campaign request. Our services are free for entrepreneurs, so be sure to sign up at vc4a.com. Subscribe to our podcast and join us again next time. Till then, work smart and stay safe.